first Computex for them, and we have a first product that they never launched so far. Arctic at Computex 2025, and we're gonna cover literally everything. It's not much, but when you take into consideration that this is their first Computex and what they're showing this year, you're gonna love it. Let's check it out. Let's start with some familiar products. We have here Liquid Freezer 3, but this is the Pro version with 360 radiator ARGB, and of course we have the newer high performance Pro fans, of course 120. This comes in sizes of 240, 360, 280, and 420. Of course you have it in white, and we have it also in black. I just have to show this. This is quite cool, right? Just going forward. So the black and white version, regular, you know everything, how it functions, how it works, the same mechanism, but they added a bit of a touch, as you can see here on the edges. They added a bit just for the visual aspect, which is quite cool to kind of refresh the product in general. Now, this right here is the Freezer 36S ARGB. Now, we're having here a bit of a different design compared to the regular Freezer 36. Single fan, it doesn't have that special cover, but it does look quite nice in general when we take into consideration that it's completely white. I presume the black will be also completely black. So that's outstanding. RGB fan, we're talking about 120 PWM, compatible with 1851-17 LGA, as well as the AM4 and AM5. And the fan here mounted, compared to the Freezer 36, is the P12 Pro addressable RGB. Now, they've been announcing and talking about some thermal paste as well. So, you know, already very famous MX4 and MX6, but this MX6 actually has a new formula. So I'm quite curious how this performs in my thermal benchmarks, and need to check that out. Need to check that out, see the comparison with everything. And as you remember, lastly, I did use the Liquid Freezer 360 and paired it up with also the Noctua NHD 15 just to get more comparison on Intel and AMD. So this is going to be quite interesting to check out as well. So the biggest surprise at Arctic booth is definitely their new case called Extender VG. Now this is definitely a premium media tower case, because we're talking about possibility where you could actually place a 420 radiator at the top or a 420 radiator on the side. Now this case comes pre-installed with 5 fans. We have 2 regular fans, regular blade fans on the left side, which are addressable RGB and PWM. And then on the side, what we have is 3 140 reverse blade with addressable RGB as well. Now, we're talking here about basically a clean case in terms of possibility to mount it at the top, as I said, for the AAO, or on the side. As you can see, the side part actually has a nice cable grommet, which hides the side part. And I'm going to go a bit closer so you can see it's really clean, seamless placement of the fans, no cables whatsoever. The top, okay, that's a different story, but the same thing goes on the side, because as you can see, these 120 fans are nicely placed, located, doesn't obstruct even the IO shield here on the side for the motherboard, which is outstanding. This part right here, of course, you have the LED track right here, LED strip, and this is glass. This is not plexi. This is pure glass, created specifically for this one, lasts longer, doesn't get scratches when you clean it up, and that's outstanding. The cool thing is you can control everything with 3.5 volts addressable RGB header. Nothing here, which gives you an option to place your favorite pop figures or whatever. And honestly, I do prefer not having a hard drive or SSD here, because this is the thing. It looks cleaner, it looks nice. There is no need for, and hopefully I'm going to test that out, no need for intake fans here. The whole power supply shroud is closed. And when we go at the back, what you get, and why there is no hard drive cage here, because at the back you have the possibility to place 2 3.5-inch hard drives and 4 2.5-inch SSDs. Or if you decide to change those SSDs to hard drives, it's all up to you. But basically, the case will come separately compared with, apart from the vertical GPU mount, and you'll be able to grab it yourself. It comes with PCI Gen 4 riser cable, and that's still quite all right. I don't have to say anything against that. Talking about compatibility for the motherboard, we have ATX and eATX, and the eATX actually just fits perfectly, so you can push the cables right at the back. Now, going at the back, but before we go at the back, we have it in white as well. As you can see, 3140 reverse as well as the black version, and to 120 here. You have loads of rubber grommets, loads of openings, as you can see right here at the bottom. Quite nice possibility, so it doesn't obstruct with the motherboard. We have rubber grommets here on the side, which are quite nicely designed. Huge opening ventilation at the back. The top part has a dust filter separated. If you don't want to have a dust filter at the top, you can simply remove it and have nice openings at the top. So it's really simple as that. The side tempered glass and the side steel panel go with 2 pegs and 1 thumb screw, so that's easy to remove. The top is simply on pegs, so you can easily access the dust filter, clean it up. The same thing goes with this part right here, so really easy. Talking about the accessory box, what you get is loads of Velcro ties. You get the covers for the PCI extension, rubber grommets for the hard drives and SSDs, and basically regular screws that you need for motherboard mounting, PSU mounting, and stuff like that. Now, I did skip a lot because we have some presentation here of the P12 Pro and P14 Pro. As you know, the P12 Pro has 77 CFM when we're talking about the airflow, and P14 Pro with 110. But they are already out, so you already might have seen that. Now, the new cooler is the Freezer 8. We're talking about single tower. We're talking about 100 millimeters PWM fan right here, compatibility with LGA 1851 and 1700, as well as the AMD AM5 and AM4. We're having, of course, that separates the coolers, because for the Intel you go with Freezer 8i, and for the AMD you go with Freezer 8a. And something that most likely you won't see on the channel, but we're having here Sensa 5700G Pros. So this is basically a whole PC passive, of course, no fans, no nothing, just passive coolers, pre-built with additional here I/O ports where you get USB Type A, Type C, 3.5, 4-pole. I presume it's a 4-pole jack for headset and everything else, and the power button, which are nicely and subtly done, which you can see right here. And you have the indication lights. This top part is quite easy to clean, so you don't have to worry about any fingerprints. Connectivity, cabling, straightforward. There's no problems with that. You just have to tuck everything at the back. And the nice thing about this is no additional sound, no additional space on your table as used up as your regular computers. So this is something most likely for office. I mean, we're talking about integrated GPUs in the processors, and this is how the top looks. So yeah, 5700 G, and what we have here is AMD Ryzen. So AMD Ryzen 7 5700G Pro, 32 gigs of RAM, NVMe M.2 TLC. So basically, I don't know the size of it actually, but regardless of that, you have Bluetooth, you have Wi-Fi, USB 3.2 generation 2 when we talk about connectivity. So yeah. And finally, the last thing, but definitely not least, we're having a new and updated version, Some Air 2 Go, which basically is quite simple. Checking out this one, what you have here is this option to place it like so. So you can adjust it as you wish. And on this one, the speeds are adjusted quite high, so you can go with up to 4,300 RPMs. Now, at 4,300 RPMs, if you're running it constantly, it goes, I think it works at 4 hours. But if you adjust the RPMs, it can go up to 74 hours of runtime, because it has battery at 5,000 milliampere hours. The speed ranges from 600 to 4,300 RPMs, so you can basically choose and cool it down during the hot weather, or like in Taiwan currently, quite steamy weather. So yeah, makes total sense to have one on the hand. Standing behind the wall of the fans, and finally to, well, not finally, but to close the day for the Arctic and their new case, first presentation at Computex in general at 2025, and we have pro version of their AIO Liquid Freezer 3, and of course we have the case, which is definitely something really cool, coming from a brand that was based on specifically cooling fans, air coolers, liquid coolers, and similar stuff like that. In general, can't wait to grab that case and to actually finalize the review and to see how it actually performs on literally every scenario. So thanks for sticking by, and see you quite soon. Bye bye.